All right, folks, we're gonna do our first ever battle report for a game of tanks. If you're familiar with what is it called, Flames of War, this is the skirmish version with the same models. They're played with unit cards, like a bunch of things these days. I'm playing the Americans. I have a Persian. Never mind the fact that it has the up armored turret and the super long gun of the Super Pershing. So I have a Pershing with the True Boy Scout. So during movement, he's going to be at initiative 7. He didn't have any upgrade cards, so that part doesn't matter for this tank. We have a Sherman 76, which has the best job I ever had. So he can attempt to repair 2 criticals each turn instead of 1. Or 2 critical cards instead of 1. And then I have 2 Sherman 75s. We are playing at 100 points today. Let me walk around. I'm going to show you our battlefield today. We're going to play between that foam piece and this foam piece. So we're a little bit wider than 3 feet. And we're definitely longer than 3 feet because we're playing on a 4-foot wide space. Never mind my collection of ogres. So this is what Germany's side of the battlefield looks like. And then we have 2 Panthers on this side. We have Ernst Barkman. If this tank does not score any uncancelled hits or critical hits with the first attack, make another attack. This tank may attempt to repair while using a Blitzkrieg rule. Excuse me, the Blitzkrieg rule. So with this tank, it also has Deadly Gunner and extra ammunition. Deadly Gunner, if this tank scores any uncancelled critical hits, you may exchange 1 critical hit for 2 hits, because some of the critical hits don't do damage, and sometimes you need that bit of damage to kill the tank you're shooting at. It also has extra ammunition. Discard this card to reroll all of your dice. If this tank takes an uncancelled hit, the shooting player may upgrade their first uncancelled hit to a critical hit. So if this tank takes damage, it could potentially take more damage because of the extra ammunition. Now we're going to go to this tank. You may have noticed that I kept the Deadly Gunner and extra ammunition in the frame because he decided to put those upgrades on this tank as well, but I only have 1 of each card. So we're going to add in Michael Whitman, +2 initiative, making this tank initiative 9. +1 to damage. This tank rerolls failed attempts to repair, bailed out, and stunned crew effects. This tank also has Radio Coordinator. So during the shooting phase, another friendly tank gains this tank's initiative. So this Panther is initiative 9 all the time. This Panther is initiative 7 all the time until that guy gets to shoot, and then he becomes initiative 9 because of the radio operator for Michael Whitman's tank. So, a little bit of cheekiness there, but it's okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, or maybe I did, I don't remember at this point. The Pershing will move at initiative 7. I probably should have given him a different upgrade card, but I wanted to pick with an American one, so it'll be okay. So we're gonna start with deployment, and I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have deployment. American tanks are deployed as such. German tanks are deployed over there. Just so we're on the same page. This one, that one, and that one back there are all low walls. So we have decided that if you're within 1 of the wall, like wholly within or just touch?
Wholly within.
Okay. If you're wholly within 1 close range of the wall, you are granted cover. If you are touching the wall and you're shooting over the wall, well, let me take that back. If you are drawing line of sight between you and your enemy and it crosses the wall, you are giving them cover unless you are in contact with the wall. I think that's probably the easiest way to explain that. If you're outside of one, it's not line of sight blocking. It doesn't amount to enough to change anything. The closer you get to it, you might get a benefit. But you have to be wholly within one of the wall. All right, we are doing King of the Hill, which means we have to try to take the center of the board. We have to be inside of one of the objective to be able to claim objective points. We cannot score objective points on the first turn. The first person to get 3 objective points wins. And we will... During the German shooting phase... let's see if I can get both of these tanks in here. We shot that way and that way. First tank was here. Germany did 2 hits. American had 3 defense. Then Germany got to shoot again because he had an unsuccessful attack. Scored 3 hits. America had 3 defense. And then we went to Michael Whitman's tank, and he hit 4 times, one of which was a crit, and the Pershing only rolled 2 blocks. So Michael's tank did 3 damage because he decided not to deal a crit and just do 2 more points of damage. Now it's time for the Americans to shoot. Alright, so the American shooting. Pershing shoots the Panther over there. Pershing deals 3. 2 is blocked, and then the crit is damaged optics, so that tank now has a repairable condition, or whenever it shoots next, it will be at -2.
Bring it down to 4.
Bring it down to 4. Because that's Michael Whitman's tank. The Sherman! Fired over at the other Panther. 3 was dealt, 3 was blocked. That was American shooting. In case it was not clear, you can still move, Eric.
Yeah.
The 3 Shermans are moving at initiative 6. The Pershing is moving at initiative 7. The Ernst Panther is moving at initiative 7. The Whitman Panther is moving at initiative 8. The Ernst Panther has to move before the Pershing because we rolled off, and the Americans are the attackers, so they win ties. Germany is the defender, so they got to choose their side. And yeah, move your Panther, Eric. Think faster. While we're on the subject of initiative and how the game works, just to get all the tanks in perspective here, Germany is going to shoot first, and then America is going to respond, because Germany fires at 7 or better, and America fires at 6. So, yeah, once Eric figures out where he's going to put his tank, we can move on to the shooting phase.
Boy.
This game is supposed to be able to be played inside of an hour. Some people can play the game in 45 minutes or 30 minutes. We have yet to be able to complete a game inside of, I think, 2 hours? Yeah, I think 2 hours is probably the fastest game we've ever played. And the sad thing is, most of the time we're playing at like 60 points, because I played the game a bunch of times,
I'm going to shoot you now.
but my opponents range from my brother, my dad, my father-in-law, one of my good friends, one of my other good friends, and they don't get as many games in to play because I play all 4 of them, and they all just play me. So, yeah. Pick your target. German shooting. Michael Whitman. Where'd my finger go? This one. Was shooting at the Pershing, which is this guy down here. He did 3. The Pershing blocked 4. And then we moved to Ernst. Ernst originally did 2. I blocked 3. And then Ernst did 4. The last one, which was a crit, I only was able to block 3. And he has Deadly Gunner, so Sherman, number 17, has taken 2 points of damage. Now it's time for the Americans to shoot. Americans fired at the Germans. Ernst on the right was shot at for 3 damage, was able to block 2, so took a critical, which was a lucky hit, and was dealt 2 damage. And then Whitman was able to shot at, dealt 3, 2 were blocked. One of his blocks was a crit, so he only took 1 point of damage. All right, so currently Whitman has 1 point on him.
Whitman has 1.
Ernst has 2. He has 2 damage. He has 3 damage. Flank tank number 1 untouched. Flank tank number 2 untouched. German shooting. Ernst Bachmann has yet to deal damage on his first shot and deals damage on his second shot each time so far because he rolls crap for his first shot and then rolls better for his second shot. So he's dealt 1 damage to the Sherman 76. He wanted to shoot at the Pershing, but the Panther did not have the Pershing as a legitimate target. However, Michael Wittmann, he decided to roll over the thing on a successful train test. We're just doing 4, 5, or 6 as a success. 1, 2, 3 is a fail. And you can do it on your first or your second. It doesn't matter. But he has that Deadly Gunner or Dead Eye? Deadly Gunner. He rolled 2 hits and 2 crits. I was able to block 1 of the crits, which in theory should be able to give me a chance not to die, depending on what the crit is. But he decided to forego drawing the card and just deal 2 more damage. So this tank has been dealt 4 points of damage and is now a dead tank. But Final Fury says he still gets to shoot. Now we'll do American shooting. All right, we're at the end of the American shooting. That guy shot at Ernst. He rolled 2 hits. Ernst rolled 3 defense. We had the Pershing shoot, and he had 1 hit. Ernst rolled 3 defense. And then we had this tank roll. He had no hits, which really sucks. And he's dead because, Whitman killed him, like Whitman does to most Shermans. But then my Sherman 76 fired at Whitman's side, dealt 1 uncanceled hit, which we upgraded to a critical, which is an engine fire. Engine fire deals a damage, and at the end of the repair step, this tank takes 1 damage. It's a repairable effect, so go ahead and roll your 4, 5, or 6. It's repaired, doesn't take a damage, doesn't take a damage. So this crit only dealt 1 point of damage, had the potential to deal 2. So Whitman has taken how much damage now? 2 points. Ernst has taken 2 points. That tank has taken 1. He's taken 3. That tank has taken 6. And he, for the first time, has been able to shoot and didn't do any damage. Oh, and the German tanks end up with a point at the end of the command step, because the Pershing is not close enough to the objective. The Panther is. The Sherman is, but he's dead. So now we're on to Blitzkrieg and move. All right, this is the first turn. The Germans didn't do damage. First go, Ernst rolled 2 hits. American rolled 4 defense. Ernst rolled 3 attacks on the second attempt. America rolled 3 defense.
Ernst expended an extra ammunition to get a better roll. It was still canceled.
So I no longer get to use unblocked hits and turn them into crits against Ernst, but I can still do that against Whitman. And then over here, the Germans rolled 3 hits, the Americans rolled 3 defense. Now it's time for the Americans to. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the American shooting, the Sherman 33 rolled blanks. So Ernst didn't have to worry. But Michael Whitman is in a bad place. He has 2 points of hull left, and his tank currently can't move, which means he cannot make his Blitzkrieg.
Haven't tried to repair yet.
He has not tried to repair yet. You may go ahead and roll.
5 or 6. 3.
No, he's not moving this turn. Beautimus.
Is it stun crew or damage engine crew?
Yeah, this isn't a crew card. So, right now, Germany has 1 point, America has no points, and since we have 2 tanks that are alive within 1 of the objective, nobody gets a point this turn. Yeah.
from center?
Yeah, from
Yes, it
center.
is.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Ernst is going to move just going to move before the Pershing. So this could be interesting. Let's get to it. Just look at the battlefield. German shooting. The Panther had 2 hits. America rolled 3 blocks. And then the Panther rolled 3 hits, and America had 2 blocks. So Ernst has, yet again, continued to roll crap first turn and then roll better second turn. This is going to be a second time.
Thank goodness he gets to reroll.
So the Pershing is now down to 3 hull. Now we're over here. Whitman rolled 5 hits, 2 of which were crits. Fortunately, the Sherman rolled 2 critical defense and only took 3 points of damage. He's down to 2. But both of these tanks get to shoot at Whitman. Hopefully the Sherman 75 doesn't come up with blanks again.
I'm hoping
That would be his 3rd turn rolling blanks if he does that. And then hopefully the Pershing nukes this Panther. I'm hoping to kill one of these Panthers because I'm within 1 and I've broken their front, which means they're going to be 2 less defense dice in both instances. So we'll see if we can get this to happen.
I did more damage than you.
All right, going back to the Whitman fight. The Sherman 33, he rolled a damage. It was a crit, but then Whitman rolled 2 defense, so it didn't matter. The Sherman 76, down here, this Fury-style tank, was able to deal 3 damage, and Whitman came up with 0 defense, which is unusual for Eric and these German dice. Usually he rolls way better than I do, but I think
only get 2 dice.
But I think math might actually be catching up with him, maybe, because whenever he rolls those little gray dice, you know, the ones that come in the basic starter set with German tanks. Yeah, stupidity ensues.
The magic.
And by stupidity, I mean way in favor of Eric.
The magic.
He calls it magic. I call it ridiculousness. Speaking of ridiculousness, the Pershing rolled 4 hits, 2 of which were crits, and the Panther rolled 0 defense. So this turn, the Pershing would have actually killed the full strength Panther because he dealt 6 damage. 2 through regular damage, and then 2 through an injured crew and damaged engine. So, target player discards 1 crew card from this tank. Not that it matters for this one, because you're technically going to discard all the crew cards because they'd be dead. Well,
he did.
Well, one of them would be dead. One of them, the rest of the crew would technically be able to bail out.
Ernst got out.
He's the only one. No, never mind. You do have a gunner. But yeah, this was an American victory. You know, like with the rest of World War II. Yeah, this was fun. We do have a little bit more terrain on the table than we're supposed to, but we're also playing on. We have an extra foot of game table. Well, we have an extra foot one direction, and then we have an extra probably 4 inches the other direction. So we're playing a little bit bigger space, but we like a little bit of elbow room. Not that you can tell from where the tanks are, but we're playing King of the Hill. Technically, we're now tied to 1-1, but he doesn't have any tanks left, so America is going to go to 9 because we win.
We win at 3.
Oh, right, we do win at 3. I'll just take it at 3.
It took to 11, it'd make more sense, but that's not the point.
My score goes to 11, but I destroyed his tanks.
For once.
Not for once. I usually destroy it. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't usually get to destroy a
You're
tank.
not destroying multiple of mine.
But sometimes I get one. That's beside the